All right, thank you very much, Tammy. Kris McCusker joins us now from 680 News. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Most excellent. Apparently better than the market, so a little bit cray-cray.
If you were watching a little too closely, you might have gotten whiplash yesterday, Roger. The Dow at one point was down almost 600 points. It did finish with a modest pullback. While the S&P was off by about 2% at one point, it finished the day up slightly, and it did stage its biggest intraday comeback of the year. And a lot of this still connected to U.S.-China trade, all the same concerns, global growth concerns. Interest rates were cut around the world in Thailand, India, and New Zealand yesterday, so that's got many investors a little concerned about where we go from here. Those U.S.-China trade talks are slated to restart again in September, and there is this threat of new tariffs on China, or this overhang, I should say, of new threats on China going into those talks. As far as the TSX goes, it managed to snap a 6-day losing streak, longest losing streak in almost a year, with a slight gain yesterday, let's call it, fairly modest, all things considered. Now, the price for gold did do most of the heavy lifting yesterday. It is still sitting at close to a 6-year high. Price for oil is bouncing off a 7-month low this morning. Some action in the oil market. Again, it's still connected to U.S.-China trade, and the price slide started last week when the U.S. president did announce those potentially new tariffs on China. So oil closed yesterday at its lowest level since January. That prompted Saudi Arabia to contact other producers to help stop the bleeding, so to speak. As well, the latest U.S. supply report did show a surprise build. It was the first gain in 8 weeks, so that really didn't help matters. And for those of you keeping track, the price for oil down about 10% this month. And then many eyes today will be on shares in Lyft after the ride-hailing service reported earnings. Second quarter earnings did come in better than expected, and the company also issued improved forecasts for sales and losses. Revenue up by 72%. That was also better than expected. So the stock is seeing a big bounce in pre-market trade, sitting at around $64. The IPO price, you'll remember, was $72, so it's still well below that IPO price. And then Uber also moving higher in pre-market trade, going along for the ride, so to speak. Uber is set to report earnings after the closing bell today. Roger.
All right. Kris, remember the commercial, keep your eyes on your fries?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently it works with a certain bird. Yeah. We're going to tell you. I know you're dying to know. We're going to tell you after the break while we ruin the surprise. Set up now, Jordan in Airborne. Jordan, do you do that up there? Your eyes on your fries.